Hello guys, thanks for joining this session. In this session we are going to look into AWS Route 53 service. So let's understand that why we use Route 53, or say what is the purpose of Route 53 within AWS ecosystem. So basically Amazon Route 53 is a highly available and scalable domain name system, that is DNS web service. Route 53 can be used to perform mainly three functions that are: first, domain registration; second, DNS routing; third is health checking of AWS resources. So let's discuss about all these 3 points in more detail. So let's discuss about domain registration. As we all know that every website needs a name, and that name should be registered so that people can access it. So here the first function of Route 53 comes into picture, that is domain registration. You can register your domain using Route 53. So now let's understand that how domain registration works. Suppose that you want to create a website called www.iwanttolownawsautomation.com and confirm that whether the name is available or not. In case if it is not available, then you have to select another name. Once you found the name is available, then you can register the domain name with Route 53. While doing the registration, you should provide the name and your contact details. When we register a domain with Route 53, then what it do, it creates a hosted zone that has the same name as our domain, and then it will assign a set of 4 name servers to the hosted zone. Suppose someone uses a browser to access our website, that is www.iwanttolownawsautomation.com. Then these name servers tell the browser where to find the resources like web server or an Amazon S3 bucket, and retrieving any amount of data from anywhere on the web, and then afterward it gets the name servers from the hosted zone and adds them to the domain, and at the end of the registration process it sends information to the registrar for the domain. Here the registrar is Amazon Registrar Incorporated, and afterwards registrar sends our information to the registry for the domain. A registry is a company that sells domain registration for one or more top level domain such as .com. So here now the registry stores the information about our domain in their own database, and also stores some of the information in the public whois database. So now let's jump into the AWS management console, where I will show you from where you can register your domain. So let's jump into AWS management console. So we are into AWS management console. To go to the Route 53, you need to go to the network and content delivery, and here you can find that Route 53. Click on it. So we are into Route 53 console, and here you will find these 4 activities can perform. So mainly we are interested into domain registration. So we need to click on Get Started Now. Once you click on Get Started Now, so you will find that we are into Register Domains, and here you can click on Register Domain. And then here you need to check that whether the domain is available or not. For example, I want to write a name, I want to learn AWS automation, something like that. Check the availability. It will check that. So it is available now, but it will cost you $12. So we are not proceeding from here. So just I wanted to show you that from where you can check the domain name. Once you have decided the name, then you can proceed further, add to the cart, so that domain is registered to you. So moving further, cancel it. So let's go back to the discussion and understand another function, that is DNS routing. So now let's understand that how Amazon Route 53 routes traffic to the domain. So what's happened that a user opens a web browser and enters the website address. The request for website is routed to a DNS resolver, which is typically managed by the internet service provider. Then the DNS resolver for the internet service provider forwards the request for the requested website to a DNS root name server. Then the DNS resolver forwards the request for our requested website again, but this time to one of the TLD name servers for .com domains. In this example, the name server for .com domain responds to the request with the names of the 4 Route 53 name servers that are associated with the requested website domain. Then at the step 5, the DNS resolver chooses a Route 53 name server and forwards the request for requested website name server In this example, it will request for www.example.com to the name server. The step 6, the Route 53 name server looks in the example.com hosted zone for the www.example.com record and gets the associated value, that is IP address for a web server, and it returns the IP address to the DNS resolver. Now at the step 7, DNS resolver finally has the IP address that the user needs. The resolver returns that value to the web browser. And then afterwards at step 8, the web browser sends a request for the requested website, in this example that is www.example.com, to the IP address that it got from the DNS resolver, and this is where our content is reside, which is a web server running on an Amazon EC2 instance or might be an Amazon S3 bucket that is configured as a website endpoint. And at last, step 9, the web server returns the web page that is requested for, and in this example we are using www.example.com that displays the web page within the browser. So this is how Amazon Route 53 routes traffic to the domain. Now moving further, let's discuss about third function of Route 53, that is health check of the AWS resources. So let's jump into a diagram and then we will discuss. Amazon Route 53 health checks function is one of the function of Route 53 that we can use to monitor the health of our AWS resources. We can use Route 53 to monitor web server and email servers. With the help of Route 53 and CloudWatch, we can design a full-blown monitoring system in place for our AWS resources. Both of the services can help us to design a monitoring application where at any point of time any of the resources is going down, then Route 53 will notify the CloudWatch and CloudWatch send the notification to the users with the help of Cloud Notification Service. So that means 3 services comes into picture. One is the Route 53, another one is CloudWatch that we will use for alarm, and the third service is AWS SNS service, that is simple notification service, that is mainly used to send the notification. To design such system, you need to create a health check and specify values that define how you want the health check to work. So in this definition process, you need to define the endpoint which you want that Route 53 should monitor. You can also specify the protocol that you want Amazon Route 53 to use to perform the check on HTTP, HTTPS or TCP. You need to also specify that how frequently Route 53 to send a request to the endpoint. This process of definition is called request interval. You need to also specify that how many consecutive times the endpoint must fail to respond to request before Route 53 consider it unhealthy. And the definition for this process is called failure threshold definition. While configuring the Route 53, we have an option for notification. That is how we want to notify when Route 53 detects that the endpoint is unhealthy. And when we do configuration for notification, Route 53 automatically sets a CloudWatch alarm. CloudWatch uses Amazon Simple Notification Service, that is SNS, to notify users that an endpoint is unhealthy. So this is how AWS Route 53 service checks the health of our AWS resources. So now let's look what we have learned so far. So in this session, we have learned about Route 53 services. What is the functions of Route 53? We have gone through domain registration process and we have seen that how DNS routing works, and at last we have seen that how health checking process or the function of Route 53, that is health checking, is working. And this is what I wanted to discuss in this session. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.